Oh, hello there. Yes, well, fish are jumping and the cotton is high. I just hope that your mum's good looking and your daddy's rich. Speaking personally, well, they're both dead, actually. Anyway, on a brighter note than that, oh, isn't it delightful news whenever you open up the sort of right-wing media to see how upset they are at the current events, dear boy, events, yes. So I thought today we'd have a look through some of the opinion pieces and some of the good news stories that are around there in the Daily Telegraph. The two things are not necessarily the same. So we have this one, first of all, which I do like, okay. There's Starmer's new billionaire backers can afford tax hikes, says Sunak. The Prime Minister hits back after Sir Jim Ratcliffe and John Caldwell, two of UK's richest men, say they'll vote Labour. Yeah, imagine that, right? Okay, it'd be really bad, right, if a bunch of rich people who didn't really have to care about what policies they demanded from a political party, didn't back the Tories. That would be awful, wouldn't it? That's not playing the game, is it? Hey? That's awful. And then there's Ian Leslie, which was probably the most desperate thing I saw yesterday. Right, okay, I love this. We need to talk about Keir Starmer's old age. Until now, the Labour leader's age has been a net political asset, but soon into his first term it will become a liability. Yeah, right, because Sir Keir Starmer is 62, right? And as Ian Leslie rightly points out, a year later he'll be 63. I mean, there's no age to be making decisions or running a country, is it? You want somebody who's, I don't know, about Ian Leslie's age, who's about, maybe not, eh? Yeah. I have no... I mean, somebody must have kicked him and say, look, just write something around Biden. That's all I can think of with that one. I mean, it's beyond farcical that you're be over the hill at 62. Luckily, I'm 61, so that's fine. Anyway, yeah. Again, sort of hope against, not necessarily adversity, but maybe hope against diversity. There's Matt Goodwin, who can always manage to conjure things out of thin air. So here we go, right, okay. Nigel Farage and Reform are now pulling in about twice as many 18 to 24-year-old Zoomers as Rishi Sunak and the Tories. Yes, and by about, he means statistically an insignificant amount, because the figures that I could dig out, the last poll that I saw was for the 13th of June, and you've got 18 to 24-year-olds, we've got 5% for Reform and 4% for the Tories. So, in other words, compared to the last election, basically, half of those young people that would have voted Tory are now going to vote Reform. But you can see the way that, if magically there are loads of other people would completely change their mind in the next 2 weeks, and then things, which I'm sure will happen, won't they? Yeah. So in other words, Tories now have a choice of Tories to vote for and lose, which has to be a good thing, because we like choice and diversity. Come on to that in a little bit. Did have to smile at the fallout from Nigel Farage and his vetting company, which he's now blaming on the Conservatives. Apparently they made him somehow pay a company to do the job badly. I mean... Once again, it's astounding. It is basically, of course, the media's fault, because they called Nigel Farage a racist. For some reason, there are loads of racists attracted to the party, and he can't be expected to fork out £144,000 and for a company to do a job. And I'm sure he'll apply the same brutal logic to himself as Prime Minister. But you've got to smile at Deborah Mead. Seriously, you paid up front, no retention in agreement or quality of information, nothing, just handed over the cash. Yeah, but they're a party that really know business. Yeah, that's Nigel for you. Anyway, we have the inevitable race card, which is all over the place at the moment. We've got this one from Shirelle Jacobs. Fury at mass migration is destined to sweep the old political order away. Yeah, and there's a bunch of very, very, very slightly right of centre French people down below, of course. Pray that the Tories and Farage can fix immigration and stagnation, otherwise a nastier force will emerge. Yeah, you see, you must vote for Reform, otherwise it'll let the fascists in. Yeah, vote for Reform, otherwise we'll end up with racists all over the place. Yeah, Yeah, or maybe, I don't know, but well, put it this way: spend another 25 quid to give to Nigel Farage, and then hopefully he can employ a different company, unless, of course, the Conservatives force him to do the same thing and a mistake. And in terms of sheer unadulterated joy, in the sense that you can't make this rubbish up, we of course have Suella Braverman. Right, okay. So she was the woman, which I like to point out over and over and over again. She was the woman who had to, with a week's break, come back as Home Secretary because she was the only one that could stop the boats, right? We're set to be the illegal immigrant capital of Europe. Labour will not stop the boats. It'll make the UK the #1 destination for illegal immigrants. Yes, remember that. She was the only one that could stop the boats. Unfortunately, she was stopped by the junior doctors and, well, me probably as well. Yeah, because she was the only one that could do it. And she didn't. Because of reasons. And here she is. Yeah, look, all those people on a boat that she didn't stop. Yeah, I hope she keeps her seat in the election. I really do. And anyway, on reasonably joyous news, we have we have the gorgeous pouting Maya Forstater, who has said some rather rude things on Twitter about a trans person. Yeah, I know, shocking, isn't it? And oddly, the police have got involved because, I mean, you can look for this stuff for yourself. Please do look it up. I'm not going to go into details. Suffice to say, I think somebody has a lot of grounds to sue her a great deal, because it wasn't just that what she was saying was at best inaccurate, shall we say. It was quite vitriolic. And of course, some of the other newspapers, like the Mail or like GB News, are saying that she's complaining that the police are bullying her. Yes, it would be dreadful if people were bullied, wouldn't it be, Maya? It'd be dreadful, that. Anyway, maybe she can go to court and, lose and, have to pay vast amounts of costs to this particular individual involved, and then she can claim it as a victory, because that's what they tend to do, isn't it? Yeah. And we also have, the wonderful, joyful news that Joey Barton has decided, being faced with a massive legal bill, to apologise for calling people paedophiles. I am kind of hoping that that message might get through to Graham Linehan, and maybe it'll keep him awake at night. Actually, that's not such a good idea, because he'll just spend the time, on Twitter more after a few nightcaps, should we say, and call yet more people paedophiles, maybe. But don't call people paedophiles. Yeah. Maybe if you're Lawrence Fox, you should learn these things. Of course, Lawrence Fox isn't learning this stuff, though, is he? No. Still, anyway, that was fairly good news. That was just laughable stuff from yesterday. So, anyway, where did we end up with that? Well, what I would suggest is, don't be a bigot. And if you want to write farcical stuff for the press, please do. But I do reserve the right to simply laugh at you with a kind of vaguely Simpsons child overtones to it. Ha ha. Right, anyway, do have a lovely day, and enjoy.